Hello, I am Wallace, the Polish toy guy, and today I'm going to show you how to build yourselves a Charizard using this official Pokemon model kit by Tomy. Oh, this one is an interesting piece. It's half toy, half model kit, it's motorized, it has 10 pieces which can be assembled and unassembled with very big ease. And I think this came out in 2013 or 14, judging by the trademark information on the bottom, and it's really fascinating to me. This is probably one of my very few larger Pokemon toys, if not the only one. I never really got into that SH Figure Arts craze or the action figure craze from the Western companies. But this caught my eye the second I saw it in my local TK Maxx, or as you would say in USA, TJ Maxx. But yes, this costed me around $10 to $15 depending on how you perceive the exchange of that time. Assemble for battle, watch Charizard go, yes. And we could also get a Genesect from this line that did the same. But from what I can tell, this was not attempted a third or fourth time. Just these two. And it's really quite an oddball for me. I like this oddball, but still, I wonder why it did not catch on and there were not more of these. But enough of looking at the box. Let's assemble this. And seeing that this is made for people who are older than 4, I think I will have no issues with doing that. And this is how Charizard looks inside the blister tray. It's quite secure inside. The blister has these small notches molded so that these pieces, while not protected by another layer of plastic, stick in place without any issues. Not many of them, only 10, but I also like the fact that the wings are both packed into individual plastic baggies. Not really sure why, but I still appreciate it. I like those wings. So now that all the pieces are completely out of the box, let's quickly assemble them into the fearsome and not always behaving Charizard, which should be very easy. We have the main torso section that basically is a hub for every other piece. So let's attach the head using a ball joint, like that. Let's attach the arms using mushroom pegs. And these arms are rubberized, so they are bendy, and it also means it may be sometimes hard to actually put these into the sockets in a way that they stay inside firmly. But nonetheless, with a bit of patience, it's fully possible, and sometimes faster on one arm than on the other. Putting the legs on, in my opinion, is the trickiest part. Not super hard, but still requires a bit of attention because you actually have to aim with 2 pieces to make the connection. The non-moving mushroom peg that goes into this socket, and this sort of mushroom peg that is movable and goes into this cavity, and this is part of the motorized functions. So it does move, so it may take a bit more time to actually get everything aligned. My solution to this is to actually first connect this moving part at the bottom, which is slightly wider as you can see, and then move it a bit manually so that we can align this static non-moving bit. Of course, it's doable, just requires a bit of attention, but still, if I can do that, so can you. There we go. So now we can also attach this literally third wheel to the tail. We have wheels, and we will go back to this topic later on. We can also assemble the tail flame, which is also hard rubber. And finally, the best part, the wings. And seeing how much paint we have on the inner side, I no longer wonder why did they pack them in separate baggies. I think they just did not want to risk them getting scratched off by just being in contact with each other. But still, the connection is fast, simple. We just attach them. They snap in really fast, like that. Of course, it's easier to aim if you are looking through your own eyes and not through the viewfinder, but still. Oh yes, the viewfinder is definitely not helping. There we go. And I have to say, for something that's aimed at 4 years old and above, this toy looks gorgeous. I don't really care for the assembly aspect, I don't care for the motorized functions, but as a display piece that's supposed to remind me of the idea of Charizard, this looks wonderful and has excellent money spent to what I get ratio. Of course, seeing that this is a Pokemon character from the first generation, we don't have all that many details, and we do have some screw holes due to how this is built, but nonetheless, this looks great. The colors are sharp, there aren't all that many paint misapplications, the pose is nice. Well, I'm not sure if I like this open mouth and tongue visible Charizard head, but other than that, this looks really great, and it's also quite big. This toy is around 23 centimeters long and has 22 centimeter wingspan. This is a great display piece. Even if your children grow too old for this and they pass it over to you, here, maybe you have a better use for this. Of course I do. I put it on my shelf, I disregard these wheels and all of the regular toy functions. I am still happy with what I get. And also this dark green paint over here that shines depending on the light. This is just wonderful. So yes, we'll go to toy features in a second, but just looking at this toy is a great pleasure. And just to show some of the details from up close, here's the head, which again, not sure about the tongue detail, but otherwise I like it a lot. And it can move 360 on that ball joint. And it's better not to leave it like that if your younger acquaintances are visiting. We have the arms, painted claws, moving on the mushroom peg just in this axis, not that with such short arms Charizard has any use for them. And we also have this movable flame effect part, which is actually, I think, the least impressively painted bit of the toy, because it's just a yellow piece with some red streaks, but then again, who is looking at this bit when we have this in front? And we also have painted claws, yellow belly, and at the bottom we have the heart of our motorized functions, this compartment for a single AAA battery, which we just unscrew here to replace, and we have a switch, very visible. And now it's time to show you what that switch actually does. So we find it on our figure and let the Pokemon magic loose. Okay, I admit that the thing that catches my attention the most is that buzzing, but the wing flap and moving legs and actually moving is quite nice, if not maybe super impressive for an adult. But yes, I testify that we do have sort of battle charging feature on this toy. Just move along. And now it's time to start comparisons, and since I don't have other Pokemon figures to show here, I will instead go with a more lizard dragon theme for now. So here we have 4 of my Transformers. We have Robots in Disguise / Car Robots, Megatron, Gigatron. We have Ultra Class Scourge from Cybertron, and we have 2 Power of the Primes Dinobots, Slug and Swoop. And for game-related things, here is my SH Figuarts Super Mario, as well as my 2 Disney Infinity figures, Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps, and we will discuss these figures on this channel later on. And for a bit of Japanese feel, here we have Revoltech DX Yotsuba, as well as Super Robot Chogokin, Choryujin and Daijyujin. And finally, for real-life objects, here we have the common cola can, $1 bill, and my first Pokemon music album. So, to sum it all up, I really like this Charizard Pokemon model kit. Not necessarily for what it offers to its target audience, the assembly process, the motorized battle charge feature. No, I could live without that, but I really appreciate what this toy does as a collector piece, as a display item. In this area, it works exceptionally well. I wanted to have some representation of Charizard, and this might as well fulfill this role without me needing to get any other figure of this Pokemon. The pose is nice, the paint is nice. I can overlook the toy-like qualities like the screw holes. If you are a fan of Pokemon who just wants to have some nice figure standing on your shelf to just remind you of Pokemon, and you have Charizard as one of your favorite Pokemon, I think this will do. Considering I don't think this is very popular, it should be easy to track down for cheap. So, if you like the idea of using this as your Charizard avatar, I think you should go for it, and I think that if it's not going to do anything else than just represent the Pokemon on your shelf, it's well worth the money and it will do just fine. And that's all for this video review. I will be back with the next one soon, and until then, stay well. Polish Toy Guy signing out.